ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. الله عز وجل يقول في القرآن: يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. فإني أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. أما بعد. I'd like to begin by thanking all of you guys for coming and showing up to aid our Muslim brothers across the globe that are in need of our dua. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept your salah, your dua, your qiyam, and may He reward you guys all with jannah for those, inshallah. Allahumma ameen. I want to start by asking you guys a question. What do you guys all think about when you think about death? What's the first thing that comes to your guys' mind? We plan so much for the future. We plan our retirement, saving up our money, investing our money. We go to school to set our careers. Yet, most of us rarely think about death. And when we do, we think about it in a negative factor. Death is the only thing in this dunya that's guaranteed, 100%. It's not guaranteed we'll make it home. It's not guaranteed we can do the second half. But death is absolute. It's a fact. It's the haqq. But most often, many people don't understand that there's tremendous benefits and positive aspects to death. Such as the main objective of this dunya is to enter Jannah, inshallah, for all the believers. This is what death brings upon us. We get away from these problems. We have no more bills, no more headache, no more, what do I gotta do this, I gotta do that. It's done. You know, I really want you guys to think about this. How long are you gonna live in this dunya? And how long are you gonna live in the hereafter? You prepare for your akhirah according to the amount of time you are in this dunya. You know, all the people, the foolish ones, are the ones that use this dunya. They use it as the maqsad, their purpose. Purpose for the dunya. That's what they're like, you know, I'm going to worry about this, worry about that, and they worry about the akhirah. The last thing, once it's happening to them, by that time it's too late. Upon occasion, Ibn Khattab, he comes into the gathering of the Prophet ﷺ. He walked into his house, and he looks around the Messenger's house ﷺ, and he sees very few provisions that he has. And then the Messenger of Allah ﷺ, he gets up from a mat, and the mat left imprints on his back. Umar ibn Khattab seen this and he began to cry. So then Rasulullah says, Ya Umar, why are you crying for? What's causing you to cry? Umar ibn Khattab replies and he says, O Messenger of Allah, have you not seen what pomp and what glory the Persian and the Roman emperors live in? You are the greatest of creations. You are Rasulullah, Habibullah. When Umar ibn Khattab said this, Rasulullah sat up straight and he said, Ya Ibn Khattab, aren't you satisfied? Aren't you satisfied that for us should be prosperity in the hereafter? And for them it should be prosperity only in this dunya. The Prophet ﷺ says in the hadith of At-Tirmidhi that the worldly comforts are not for me. I'm like a traveler that goes under a tree shades and then I go on. Subhanallah, this is the mentality and the character of a mu'min, a believer. This is what he understands, that this dunya is temporary. He knows that this will end eventually. But what happens to so many people is they get stuck and they get this dunya into their purpose and they just forget all about it. They forget about the akhirah. They make their purpose this dunya. And they're like, the akhirah, I'll take care of that. You know, it's going to be a couple of years. I don't know how people think that when people say, you know, be tormented for years, hundreds of years, thousands of years, they think it's going to be longer than this. There's no time. Time only exists in this dunya. Time doesn't exist. It's diminished in the akhirah. Ask yourself, when was the last time you went to a grave? When was the last time you went and you seen the tombstones and the dates that are engraved within them? 1800, 1805, 1900, 1920? Don't you realize, people, we spend more time beneath the surface of the earth than we do above the surface of the earth? Subhanallah, but what happens? We get impressed by this now, this dunya, and we forget about the later. We forget all about it. It's not of our concern. Rasulullah says in a long hadith, authentic hadith by Imam Ahmad Abu Dawud and Al-Hakim about the story of the soul when it leaves the body, the journey that the believer's soul goes through. He says, when the believer is dying, angels come down from Jannah with coffins from Jannah and a scent from Jannah. And they go to that person, they sit in front of him, and the angel of death comes to him, and he says to him, be happy and pleased with the promise of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for you. And then he comes and he tells the soul, oh, you soul in the state of tranquility, come out to the pleasure and come out to the rahmah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Rasulullah says, continue saying, that the soul will come out so easily, it's as if the water drop coming out of a jug. Think about pouring water into a jug, how easy it just comes out. So easy, that's how the soul's belief comes out. SubhanAllah. Rasulullah says, as soon as the angels of death, as soon as the angels take that soul, they jump on it. They jump and they want to wrap it and put it in the coffin. And then they have the honor of holding it. And then they take it up to the heavens. Rasulullah continues saying, whenever they would carry that soul to a group of angels, the angel will say, who's that soul for? The angels will reply and say, this is the soul of so-and-so. They would call him by his best names until they reach the gates of the lowest heavens, as-sama' ad-dunya. And they seek permission to enter the grave. Into the doors, and they enter. And whenever the soul is being carried through the heavens, the angels of that heaven accompany it to the next heaven. The soul is being carried all the way up through the sama', all the way up to Arsh Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And when they reach up to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah delivers the promise of Jannah to that believer. He promised, and then He says, take that soul back to the earth. Take that soul back to where I have created them, where they will return and where they will be resurrected from. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make our souls amongst the souls of the believers. Ameen. Then, he sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says, the angels come down for the non-believer and for the munafiq, the hypocrite. He comes down, the angel of death. And he comes and he tells the soul, oh, you evil soul, come out to the wrath and the punishment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam explains the way the soul of the disbeliever leaves him. He says, the pain of that soul is like a branch, it's like a branch with thorn being pulled through a ball of wet wool. Just try to think about that. You're trying to pull a rose bush with thorns out, how it sticks, how it rips every nerve and every muscle fiber out of you. Imagine the agony, the pain. You know, it's not nowhere near the pain that we can feel in this dunya. It's unimaginable, the pain that we're going to have in the akhirah. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says that the soul has a stinking, rancid smell to it. And whenever the souls pass near the angels, they start cursing at him. They say, who is the soul? Who is the soul for? And they call him by his worst names. The angels would carry it up to the lowest heavens, seeking to enter the Jannah, first as-sama' ad-dunya. But then the doors for them will not open. They will hear a sound from the sama' saying, لا تفتح له أبواب السماء. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala do not open this door for them. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, throw that evil soul to the lowest heavens. Throw him with my disgrace. So the angel he will descend back down to his grave with the disgrace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I would like to briefly talk about another section of the akhirah, and that's the qabr, the grave. Whenever Uthman bin Affan radiallahu anhu would see the grave, he begins to cry. So he was asked by the companions. He was asked, how come every time you think of Jannah and Nar, it doesn't affect you like the way when you think of the qabr? Why? What is this? Uthman bin Affan radiallahu anhu says, إني سمعت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول القبر أول منازل الآخرة فإن جاء منه فما بعده أيسر وإن لم ينج من فما بعده أشد منه. He says صلى الله عليه وسلم that the grave is the first step towards the akhirah. And if you make it through the grave, whatever is next will be easy for you. And if you cannot make it through the grave, whatever is next for you will be worse. This is why Uthman ibn Affan would cry. He also said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, everything horrific I have seen in my life, the grave is more horrific. This is the hadith of Tirmidhi. Pretty soon, every single one of us, everybody in this dunya, will be in that grave 6 feet under, all by ourselves. This daily routine of waking up, making wudu, saling tahajjud wa fajr, eating breakfast, taking a shower, do whatever you do on this regular day, it's going to change whether you're ready or not. It's not up to me, it's not up to you, it's not up to anybody. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's in His qadr, it's written for us when we will go. No matter what we do, we are going to leave the comfort of this dunya within a matter of time. We'll be carried to that place in the hole for us, 6 feet, by yourself. No mama, no baba, no brothers or sisters. Nor is there any friend that will be with you. You're rolling solo underground. Nobody. Think about this. Narrated by Abu Hurairah and Bukhari and Muslim. He says that Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says in regards to the death of a black lady that was used to clean the masjid. He says, these graves are dark, but by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah will give them light because of my salah and them. Just think about this, the darkness. Think of how dark the grave is. It's complete darkness. This is exactly the complete darkness of the qabr. This is how it is. As soon as you remember the grave, remember we all belong here. We all belong here. This is where we come from. This is the earth. We're made of this. As soon as you're placed in that hole, the grave will hug you and squeeze you. And not hug by how you think it is. Allah is hug, hey, how are you, how you doing? No. This is the most painful, the most excruciating pain you will undergo. The hug of the qabr. Because we are part of the earth, and this is what we're created from. Reported in Musnad Imam Ahmad, says Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, the grave squeezes you, and if anyone was to be safe in the squeeze, it'd be Sa'd ibn Mu'adh radiyallahu anhu. Says Ibn Umar radiyallahu anhu narrates, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, Sa'd ibn Mu'adh is the man that the arsh of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala shook at his death. This is the man that the gates of heaven opened for him. This is the man that 70,000 malaika came down to accompany his janazah. This is Sa'd ibn Mu'adh. And he was still briefly squeezed by the grave and let go. This is an Nasa'i. Just think about it, the throne of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala shook. He has 70,000 malaika coming to his janazah. The gates of heaven were open for him to greet him, and yet he was still squeezed. But by his righteousness, it wasn't that long. It was, a brief squeeze. I'd like to now briefly talk about, inshallah, the fitnat al-qabr. Torments and the trials of the grave, the trials. Hadith narrated by Al-Bara ibn Azb. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says, as soon as a person enters the grave, two angels will come to you. Munkar and Nakir. They would descend upon that person, and they would scream at him, terrifying them, scaring them, shocking them, and they make him sit up. And then they would say to him, who is your Lord? What is your deen, and who is your prophet? This hadith indicates that these two angels will come to you not in a polite, nice manner. They're going to come to you in the worst of worst manners. They're going to come to you mean, immediate, and steadfast. And they're going to expect the answers coming to you to be immediate. There's no, I got to think about it. It's going to come straight forward. This is what they expect from you. They call it intihar. Just the name of these two angels, Munkar and Nakir, that sense explains stuff about them. It shows you the characteristics who are they. The word Munkar, something that is haram according to the Quran and the Sunnah. And anything that's haram with the Quran and the Sunnah is the best of the best that you can do. Because why? You're angry with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that's all that matters. If you're angry with Allah, this is all that matters. Not if I anger so and so. It doesn't matter. We're all ins. I'm not the judge. He's the judger. He's the one that's going to place you to hellfire or Jannah. The word Nakir, to me, to what I've looked up, it doesn't have a definite definition, but many of the translations say it's a denier. It's the common denier. Still, it has no positive into it. No khair. This doesn't come to you mean and steadfast. And in another narration by Abdul Razzaq, he says the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, speaking to Umar, how will you deal, O Umar, with the testers of the grave? How are you going to deal with them? And this is Umar ibn Khattab. So how are you going to deal with them when they come digging the earth with their eye teeth? Hair so long that they're stepping on them. Their eyes are dazzling with dazzling lightning, and their voices with deafening thunder. With the whip so heavy that if you round all the people in this dunya to come lift it, they will not be able to. This is how they will come to us. And he says they will come, two black and blue angels coming to you. This is the narration, that's how it explains it. This is the most important test we will undergo in this dunya, in our life. This is it. These three questions. We know the answers. We know the questions to it. But Munkar and Nakir are going to expect immediate answers. You can't sit there and think it's going to be Min Rabbah, In Rabbi Allah. It's going to come out instant. Ma Dina, ومنه نبيا. That's what they're going to ask the believers. And the believers are going to ask, Rabbi Allah. And they say, Dini Islam. When Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And then they're going to hear a sound coming out of the heavens. He's going to say, قَدْ سَبَقَ عَبْدِي. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to verify. The angels ask the questions and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala verifies, is this answer the truth or not? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, in Surah Ibrahim, verse 27, يثبت الله الذي آمنوا بالقول الثابت في الحياة الدنيا وفي الآخرة ويضلل الله الذين ويضلل الله الظالمين ويفعل الله ما يشاء. Allah keeps firm those who believe in the firm statement, in this world life and in the hereafter. And Allah sends astray the wrongdoers, and Allah does what He pleases. This firm statement, think, what's this firm statement? Allah is referring to the firm statement of La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. This phrase is the truth. This is the reality. This is what Allah will affirm for all the believers, the true believers. When dealing with a non-believer and a munafiq, munkar and nakir, ask the questions the same ones that they did to the believer. But when it comes to the question, who is your prophet? They're going to respond, what? Who? I don't know. I heard so-and-so say this and I heard so-and-so say that, so I said this. And then munkar and nakir are going to hit him with the hammer. You're going to turn him to dust. And wallahi, I'm not trying to make this sound like a fairy tale or trying to make it amusing in any matter. This is serious. This is the haqq. This is the truth. This is the promise from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is going to happen to those that don't believe, those that are munafiq, those that kafir billah. This is your torment. This is your reality for you. Inshallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not make us amongst those evildoers and the munafiq. Ameen. Let it be clear, my respected brothers and sisters in Islam. The iman in our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is one of the pillars you will be asked in your grave. It's not sufficient to believe in one God, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but you must believe in the representatives of Allah. You must believe in the messengers and the prophets of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You must believe when they convey the message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to the beginning Muslims until Yawm al-Qiyamah. Abu Bakr al-Bukhari radiallahu anhu narrates that Asma bint Abu Bakr says, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam stood in the masjid to deliver a khutbah. And he started talking about fitnat al-qadr. And there was an uproar in the masjid. And then she says, there was an uproar in the masjid with loud noises that she couldn't hear anymore. And she's like, what's this noise? What's this noise coming? And she sees, it's the Sahaba radiallahu anhu, they're all crying. They're scared, they're terrified, they're shivering. And these guys are living in the best generation. And Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam told amongst the Sahaba that are guaranteed of Jannah. And they still fear, they cry, they have the taqwa in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then she says, radiallahu anhu, she says, Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, it has been revealed to me that you will go through trials in your grave that are similar to fitnat al-Dajjal. The extreme situation and danger and the trials and tribulation of the grave will be similar to the trials and tribulations of the Dajjal. There's no fitna or no trial since the creation of Adam alayhi salam that till the day of judgment more severe than the fitna of the Dajjal. There will not be. And every single one of us will go through something similar to this in our grave. My respected brothers and sisters, this was said 1400 years ago. It was said 1400, and it applies to every single creation that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created from the first day until the day of judgment. It applies to all of us. Every single one of us in this dunya and every single person here today. So I end here, and I want you to ponder, think about what I've spoken about. Think about it tonight as you lay in bed. Inshallah, tomorrow if you wake up. And then next week and next month, and for the rest of your lives. Think about this. Think about what's absolute, what's guaranteed going to happen to every single one of us. We're all going to die. There's going to be a day when we walk this earth no more. Just as the generations have passed before us, just as the prophets and messengers of Allah passed before us, just like as the best creation of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has passed, we will all pass and we will all have near our fate. We will end and we will leave the comfort of the dunya. We will leave it behind us. We won't walk no more. My respected brothers and sisters, we spend a lot more time underground than we do above ground. A lot more time. It's not even a fraction of it. I first remind myself and everybody, have taqwa in Allah. Make reading the Quran just as you breathe. Make praying so routine as if you walk. Strive hard in the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to be amongst the souls of the believers and not amongst the souls of the wrongdoers. And work hard to be a believer in the sight of Allah, which matters the most, not amongst the sight of the ins. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's judgment is the one, this is the haqq, this is the fact. Whether I think you're a bad person or you're a mu'min or this does not matter. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one that's going to judge you at the final day, not us, not anybody here. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وآل محمد كما صلينا على إبراهيم وآل إبراهيم. اللهم بارك على سيدنا محمد وآل محمد كما باركنا على إبراهيم وآل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. ربنا